place where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to know where we gonna go.
Oh, hello and welcome back again. As you can see, we're back at the property. We are glad to not be doing another camper video after our previous issues. Having said that, we have had a window leak, a relief valve leaking, so a couple little things, but
the AC's still acting up.
Yeah, we got a part in order for the AC. So there is some stuff I'm going to have to do, but it was also a cheap used camper, so we expected that going into it. But for today, been at the property a week now. So it's been a very productive week. All the other times we've came down, if you've been watching, it was 2 days maybe here, enough to barely do anything, maybe get a little progress, and then we had to leave. Then by the time you come back down, you're doing the same thing again.
It's on repeat.
Yeah. Yeah, so this time we had 7 full days. And if you've been watching, if you just watched this video, you might not realize how much work's been done. So I'll try to edit this to where you can kind of see the increments as times went of what we've gotten done and how we're making progress. And then remember along the way, because the culvert's washed out, we can't get equipment in here. So everything we have done has been with manual clippers, a weed eater,
and a rake,
a brush cutter, yeah, and a rake, and a shovel. That is the tools we have had. So we've cleared a ton off. So I'll go around the property again and kind of mimic the last tour I did so you can see the differences. And then once we're done with that, we'll go through behind us here where we're wanting to put the RV pad, a utility room, and how I've mapped out the utilities. So then we'll show you how that's laid out. And then in upcoming stuff, you'll see hopefully the progress from this week, because if any of you have developed land, you know what a pain it is and how many little weird things you have to get over. If you haven't, you'd be surprised, but we did enough research going in to know, like, here's going to be the roadblocks. And some of them have been easier than we expected. One was an address. So if you look at land, a lot of times either there's not a number on it or it's 9999 whatever road. So this week we got an address. It took less than a day to get what they needed done for that. So we officially have an address. Then we were trying to figure out, like, county water is supposed to be available out here, but there was some hiccups with that. So we're like, do we just do a well? And then luckily it's an awesome community just hanging out in town. We met some people that were super friendly, and they're like, oh, let me get a hold of somebody. And they came out like, oh yeah, we could do this, no problem. So county water is in progress. So not sure how long that'll take. Might be a couple months, but they're working on getting the county water ran into the property, so we'll have that covered. We had our septic guy come out, and he mapped out where that needs to be, so we got a good spot for that.
But he said we have a lot of work to do before we can do it.
Yeah, which
we knew that.
Yeah, the area it needs to be needs bush hogged, so we got to find someone that can bush hog it. And then the culvert, I've had trouble getting excavation guys to get out here, and like they won't call me back, which I know all around the country that's a problem right now. But then we were camping, and one of the guys at the campground works for the road department, and he's like, oh no, I got you hooked up. So he's hooking us up with getting the culvert done, and actually cheaper than we expected. So we basically buy materials, and the road department will do it for us. So save some labor there, just have to buy materials, so that's cool. And then, let's see, what else did we get covered? Oh, we got our storage unit set up.
Yeah.
So then hopefully here soon we'll get everything from Georgia to here, and then I'll have all my tools here, which will help. And when that culvert's done, we'll start renting equipment. But
we got names for concrete.
Yep, we got concrete contractors, so when we go to do this pad. So today's our last day here for this week.
And we're not doing anything today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a chill day. But then we're back in September. So yeah, this will be the last property video you see for a little bit. But we'll be back here in September, and we're here for 6 weeks. So we're hoping to get a lot of these big chunk items done then. But for now, I'll go ahead and walk up front here, and we'll do a tour of the property so you can see what we've got done. All right, so I'm going to start down here at the secondary entrance really. The primary entrance is the one at the culvert. But down at this area behind me, we haven't done a ton, we've just cleaned it up a little bit. But just widening things up, getting where cars can get in, where you can turn around, getting some of that stuff done, which has been critical. If you see the ground level change there, I still gotta get this smoothed out so there's not a big bump up from the road. But when I get a skid steer here, we'll do that. And then we've just kind of widened this up a little bit and knocked the tall weeds down. Still got to work on this flat spot right here. That's going to be a lower level parking spot. And through this drive, we've just widened it a few inches, so it might not be real noticeable. But then Shanna's been working on finding these rock structures and cleaning those up and exposing those. Yeah, so we've just widened this just a little bit. And then just from traveling through with the truck so much, we're at least getting more paths worn into it. More of our exposed rock structures. Yeah, as you get up to this area, this is where we've made a decent impact. We've widened this a lot more through here, and then knocked a lot down up into that. So yeah, like I've tried to cut around these corners a little bit better so we have more room to back around, turn trucks around. Yeah, last time we were here, this was maybe a little more than a truck width. Which a big difference here, and this is where Shanna spent most of her week, is on this entrance. So let's see here. So where Shanna's standing from there to that taller stuff was all the way out to here this week. So I worked on cutting this corner down, and it went kind of straight back over to that where it's sticking out just in front of the truck. So knocked that much down, and then Shanna went down here and worked on widening this up, which she can kind of show you what she's been doing. Yeah, so this section here was completely grown across.
I exposed that so then the bush hog people can know where things are.
Yeah, when we have it bush hogged, we don't know what's where in here, so we're trying to we know we have a lot of rock, so we're trying to figure out where the rock is so then they don't hit stuff, which we can't promise. They won't hit things, but they're pros and we'll warn them.
Yeah, I noticed this right here when it was all the way out here, but through the bushes I noticed there was some rock underneath, so I started clearing this all out, and that's all rock right now.
Yeah, we think this front edge of the property, there's like a layer of rock coming across that.
Yeah,
but as it goes up and gets higher up this way, we haven't seen nearly as much. So that's what we're trying to at least figure some of that out.
Well, we want to get that bush hogged for the septic.
Yep.
Up there. So I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to be completely in rock up there. And can't do septic.
Yeah. So yeah, cleaned all that out. And then we just kind of weed eated and opened this up a little bit more. So we'll go down here and show you the other entrance and culvert. Not much changed on that though. Alright, so down here at the other entrance, you can see we've kind of got a block so people know not to try to pull in. But there's the culvert spot that's washing out. And I at least got the weed eater and cleaned up another 20 feet worth. So then we can just hook to that, run 20 foot more, get that filled and backfilled, sloped up properly, and then we've got our shot up in there to bring the camper in by spring. And if you remember from last time, there's this other flat spot right here by where we're doing the culvert. That'll be another spot so people can pull in and park right there if they don't want to go all the way up into the property. Or if we have rock or anything dropped off, we can have them pile it there, then I could get the tractor and take it up around the property.
And we're going to do gates.
Yeah, there was a good point. Hold on.
In in the fall, we're gonna put gates across both driveways. Hopefully
Yeah,
we can get that done.
we should be able to get that done.
And we're gonna get a mailbox.
Yeah, it was mailbox, gates, bush hog, and then hopefully a shipping container for the fall.
Yeah, we're hoping to do all that while we're here for 6 weeks.
And we'll see past that, but then I'd like to start moving dirt, but I got a feeling that's going to be enough for me on my list.
It'd be nice if we could go ahead and get water at least
Yes.
to the property by that time too.
Depends how the county goes. So
Yep.
we'll see on that one. All right, so this is the area we're going to put an RV pad, and then there's a little clearing up right there that we're going to put a utility room that has 200 amp service, run water into it, be able to do a washer dryer, a little mini split, and kind of take care of all that while we're living in the camper for several years, because we figure it's going to take a lot of years for us to get built the way we want to. So this will give us some time to be able to just enjoy the camper, and we are going to build like a carport, RV port, nice one over it, so we'll get that done. But I've kind of got my map drawn out, so I've kind of done a rough sketch of where things need to be. The utility room versus that won't be to scale, but kind of mapping out electric needs, what I need on that, and how far back everything needs to be placed. All right, so I've marked out the corners of where the RV pad would go. With the sun, I'm not sure how well it's going to show up, but corner one, and then we go 16 wide. So we go 16 wide and then 40 deep. So kind of walk across. So this would be the 16. Tracking the slope of here. I didn't want to be more than 4 foot for the retaining wall I'm gonna have to do. And it looks it's about 3. Like, so where I'm gonna put the back point would be about 3 feet, and then it tapers down. So as we come forward, of course, the retaining wall is less. So I don't think that'll be too bad. Still gonna be a lot of work and a lot of dirt to move, but I think I can pull that one off. I did place it at one point and there was a little bit more of a slope at the back, so I moved this forward. I should still have plenty of room to pull forward and back the camper in. And then we came up with the first place for the utility room, but it was just too steep. So yesterday I cleared another little section where it starts to flatten out, so we'll walk up to that. Yeah, and as we're going, so my orange markers are the corners, and then I did yellow for utilities. So we will have a sewer hookup here for the camper. I'll have to put that under the concrete pad before they put the slab into the other side, then that'll go over toward the drain field. And then we'll bring water in around and have water hook up at the front of the camper, and then we'll run a power pedestal to here. So we'll kind of have all of our utilities spread. I got them where they're 4 foot spaced, so I have room to dig, run conduit, do whatever I need to that way. Then coming to the back. So back edge of the building that we're gonna do for the camper from the pad. And here you can kind of see why we had to move this up higher. This is just too much of a slope. But up on this spot, we'll still have to level it a little bit, and kind of figured I'll probably have to do about a 2 foot retaining wall and then set up all my drainage. You do have this big hillside, so we'll have all that water to deal with. But once we get it bush hogged, I'm going to try to work with some of the natural slopes. So we might shift this a little bit, but just from me walking through it, I think this will work. There's a couple different slopes away from this as it comes down the hill. So it should take minimal effort to divert it around and then down where we want it to go. But corner, and this is going to be 12 foot deep, 16 foot wide. And then like the yellow one here is where I hope to bring power in. Then if we spin around here, I'm going to do a center floor drain. And then of course that'll run over and Y into whatever drain line that goes back down there. And then back corner is right here, and then we'd have another drain line here for the washer dryer. So washer would go in here. If I add a sink, I can just tie that end over here. But so I gotta get all that under, I gotta get this dirt moved and prepped, get my forms up, and then route all my plumbing stuff and run my sewer lines, connect over, and then we'll get these concrete pads. But that'll probably be spring for the concrete. And in the meantime, we gotta get this bush hogged. Once we bush hog it, if I find another spot that's more flat than this, then I'll relocate. But for now, I think this will work. And there's a decent little slope off the front of it, but we talked about either doing a porch and then some stairs down that right to the RV pad, so it'd look kind of neat. But yeah, so for now, this is the hope for the layout down here. All right, so here in a minute, we're gonna drive up to the top. We have not done anything else to the top. So it's just kind of overgrown. We gotta get that bush hog too. So you can't even see the flags we placed before for we wanna put the house in the barn. But I just did the shorter flags when we did it. So I gotta get more of these orange posts like I've used here to map that out. But once again, bush hog comes first. So trying to get some contacts on that. But we'll try to film a little bit going up. I forgot my GoPro mount for the windshield, and it's bumpy enough, it's hard to get good footage. But we've widened that a little bit getting up there. So I'll have Shanna try to record and then try to compare that to last time so you guys see how much difference. But other than that, I don't think we have too much else today. Anything else?
Not that I know of.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's last day, we're kind of chilling. So we'll run up here to the top and just kind of show you a little bit of that. But in the meantime, just like and subscribe below if you're enjoying. We appreciate everybody that watches. We did just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Yay!
I know in YouTube land that's nothing. Took us 3 years, but we thought it was cool. Originally we're like, we might get a couple hundred people between family and friends watching, so still neat. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that, show you the view from the top. All right, sorry about that. Like, we cut off in the middle.
We have no idea.
I hate GoPros. I mean, they work awesome, but they shouldn't have made them black. They overheat all the time. So if you're in a warm climate, all the time they're overheating. It's ridiculous. But anyway, we're going to head to the top. We'll show you a little bit of that, and then hopefully here in a couple weeks we'll have another video for you. So we'll see you guys next time.
I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me, to run away with me. Don't tell your friends, but let them know we're safe later on. The road's cold, sun on our skin, sleeping under stars when it's cold. I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with